Hey everybody, Cynical Buddha here. I just got, well, I didn't just get back, but today was the first day of Bosco's Comics here in Anchorage, Alaska. They're like just about the last of their back issue sale when everything goes to $1, and they do manager specials where you can buy whole boxes for a pretty decent price. Um, and then next Sunday it goes down to 50 cents. So today was $1, and then you could buy a short box for $60 or a long box for $90, which I think is up from last year because it used to be 50 for a short or 60 for a long, or you could buy three long boxes for $150. Although that might be the special next Sunday, which would be the last day of October or last day of August. One day, everything goes down to 50 cents, and there's even more insane manager specials. I don't know. But anyways, I ended up picking up a short box. I went there as soon as they opened at noon today. Not as crazy as I expected it, although I guess there are people there like right when they opened. They had been planning for this, like staging what they wanted to buy, which happens. But Bosco's gets rid of a lot of like overstock stuff. They buy huge collections. So I just wanted to show you what I picked up this year because last year I went way too late, super picked over, nothing worth like me even buying or bothering with. So, you can see I got Conan Annual number 4. I got this for a buddy who's a Conan fan. Just something I threw in into the box. And I will say I picked up almost everything I picked up was a need for one of the runs I'm trying to build. At least probably 90%. So it was a really good day. I was super happy to find some big collections with stuff I needed in it, and I did the math. I think in the short box I had 183. I got stuffed in there. So for $60, it equals out to about 33 cents a piece. So that was pretty good. Anyway, so that's the first one. I've got it kind of all over the place, but we'll just kind of go through some stuff stacked on the desk, some stuff stacked on the box. But I ended up finding a bunch of old Dell 10 centers. They're not in great shape. They're probably good at most. With some old Dell Tom and Jerry. I didn't see the big water stain here, but need St. Beetle Bailey, some Dell Bugs Bunnies, some more 10 centers. Pretty cool. Some old Charlton stuff. I love finding the old like war comics and stuff like that. So one of the Fighting Army, that's the only one I found. Found a couple issues of Flintstones. And actually not terrible shape. I mean, obviously not nowhere near mint, but probably very mid-grade, very readable. Still in great shape. Got a Fighting Marines as well. Found a Gold Key Funky Phantom. I remember. I'm pretty sure I remember this cartoon from the growing up. And then one of the things I love grabbing too, if I can find them, are annuals. Even if I'm not really, although I do have a bunch of 2-in-1, and I've been toying with the idea of maybe trying to put the 2-in-1 run together. But ended up picking up annual number 3. I love the annuals because it's usually a standalone story. It's a lot of pages, and I mean, for 33 cents, how can you go wrong? Oh, next stack. So I also love Bronze Age horror. So I picked up a Tomb of Darkness number 9, which I think is the first issue. I think they changed the name of it, or I can't remember, but not in a great shape either, but still readable. Picked up a couple Green Lantern books, Tales of the Green Lantern Corps Annual number 1, and Green Lantern issue number 150. Picked up an issue of The Phantom Stranger from the, I think this is early 70s. Not in great shape either, but again, it's one of those things I love. Kind of like the macabre and the horror stories, or the 70s horror, and so a couple of Tarzan families. I already had this one. I didn't realize that, but hard to go wrong with a giant size for 30 cents. Picked up a Marvel Spotlight, Son of Satan, and let me grab a couple. Another set I hadn't really planned on putting together, but have slowly started piecing it together as Darkhawk. So I found a bunch of issues I needed. Number 9, number 14, the Foilie number 25 in great shape. So that's nice. Number 28, I need to get some more bags and boards to replace a lot of this stuff. That one. And number 7 and 8. So that gets me really close to having a complete run. The other thing I picked up a ton of, and that was very unexpected, is Power Man and Iron Fist. As you can see, these are all, well, Power Man and Iron Fist, and then Luke Cage Power Man. But, ended up picking up the final issue, and then just a bunch of the run stuff I needed. Go through it. I ended up picking up a couple of the Devils on accident, although these are variations, though. You see, one's the diamond, one's the square. I did that accidentally on a couple. It's hard when you start pulling stuff, even when you have a want list. Like I printed off my major want list stuff to go through. And then I was also checking stuff on the phone at Comic Book Realm, where I have everything logged. But even then, you find what happens is there's so much stuff there. You hit a hole of, like, say, this, and then you find another run or partial, and it's hard to keep track of what you've got in your box, and it's crazy. So I try to do my best, not try to get too many doubles, and try to only pick up stuff I really need. And I'm also looking for the hidden gems too, although I don't think I found too many of them this year. Number 57 and 61, 65, and then I got a huge run of Luke Cage Power Man. So 42, 36, 30, this is where I ended up picking up 2 issues. This one's pretty trash, so it is what it is. It gets a little crazy when you're competing with a big crowd, although not as terrible as I thought it was going to be. So there's plenty of room to move around. And the nice thing is, everybody's asking, what are you looking for? Because if you're not looking for what they're looking for, they'll gladly, if they find it, set it aside for you, tell you it's where it's at. 45 and 46 there in one bag. 40, 39, 37. So no Hero for Hire, which would have been great if I could have found that as part of this too. But, I had thought about, I was only really trying to go after Power Man and Iron Fist, and then, but having like this kind of fall in your lap for 33 cents in issues, pretty awesome. So what's next? Let's see. Another run. I need to actually. So I found a nice hidey hole of Howard the Duck, and was able to pick up quite a few issues, all in really good shape. I was really impressed. I mean, a few have spine ticks, but all solid. Most of these are already. I've already put these in some new bags and boards what I had, but a lot of these are already bagged, so at least they're not super dirty. So that was nice. That was a nice find. Another nice find was that there was a big run of Punisher, and I'm almost done with the volume 2, or the first ongoing series from the 80s that went through the mid 90s. But I needed 2 annuals, so I got annual number 7 and annual number 3. That's the last 2 annuals I needed. And then a bunch of issues in the run that I had been missed, so always great. Pick those up, and I didn't realize I was missing some of the Euro hit stuff, so that's really good, because I think that culminates with this issue. I can't remember. I have to dig it out and start reading it, but I'm gonna. And if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm a big Iron Man fan, and while I never expect to actually finish the full first run, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to find a decent issue of number 1 or 55 that I'm willing to shell out for, but I am still working my way through everything else, which is fairly, and it's amazing what you can find. So I picked up a nice deck of Iron Man. All of these I needed. Some higher end stuff, but also some not lower end, low number stuff. So some early 100s. Some of these have conditional issues, but I figured if I found it and I didn't have it, I was going to add it, and I'll mark it to replacement. If I ever get around to it. And then the nice surprise was there were a lot of sub 100 books there as well. So I was able to pick up quite a few needs. I mean, a lot of these are a lot of spine techs and some issues, but they look really nice under fresh plastic, though. Number 88, number 99, 72. And it was nice to find a copy of 44 and 45, so sub 50s. That's awesome. And number 85 and 72. Although I think I picked up 272s. You might have seen that scrolling as I was going through those. Another set I'm still putting together, and that I bought a bunch of Firestorm, back when it was coming out, and I got into it again right as the series ended, or the original series. But I've been putting together this set almost exclusively through this back issue sale, and I was able to find a few issues. Annual number 3 and annual number 5. I needed these 2 annuals to finish out the annual run. And then a few issues, 55, 73, and 58. So nice. I'm getting really, really close to having that run complete, which is awesome. Another series that I've been collecting since I was 12, when I found them at a flea market in Texas, is JLA, Justice League of America. And I know I'll probably never own issue number 1. Or some of the early stuff. I think the earliest one I own is issue number 35, I think. But I have almost completed the run from 100 to the end of the first series. So I ended up finding this Whitman variation. I can't remember what number it is, 169 or something. Has a bunch of spine ticks, but I didn't have it. Not that I'm too worried about getting all the Whitmans. But then a lot of mid 100 stuff too. There's 119, 136, 194. Love the old Giants. 152, 102, 77, 156, another Giant. 123, 132, 126, 125, 120. And as you can see, a lot of them have spine ticks, but some of these are still in pretty decent shape. There's 162. This is 129. There were 2 copies. They were both badly cut. So is what it is. 169 out of that one. And then spoiler. Another run. I don't know, if you were collecting in the late 80s, you might remember that DC took Action Comics to a weekly format where it was mainly, it just became a bigger weekly magazine that featured a lot of ancillary character stories. And Marvel Comics kind of did the same thing with Marvel Comics Presents. And I am slowly, I bought a bunch of these when they came out, but it was hard to keep up when your allowance is only so big, and this is coming out weekly. So now I am slowly piecing together the set through back issue sales. And I found another huge slug today. 108. Always nice when you have everything logged and you know exactly which issues you need. And the funny thing is, I love the fact that Marvel Comics Presents had Wolverine in it, right, as a reoccurring character, even though he had his own ongoing series at this time. I guess he was the draw, though, too, right? You'd pick it up because it had Wolverine, but then you'd also get stories like Werewolf by Night or Stingray or The Collective Man, I think my favorite is Sam Keith. Here's a great Sam Keith cover. Also did a lot of work in here. There's another one. And then sometimes they had flip covers like this. Another Sam Keith cover there. Number 50. Werewolf by Night. 46. Some early issues here. And 105. So that was a nice slug of needs. And then I love the fact that I can find Bronze Age there too, in really good shape. And I don't particularly collect Superman anymore, although back in the late 80s, early 90s, I was reading all the Superman, especially when they're all connected with the triangles, right, where all the stories interconnected between the 4 titles. But I couldn't pass up Bronze Age, like superheroes, especially Superman or Batman if I find them in here, and they're in great shape. So a couple like this, there's through 295 and 279 and number 300, which was a really cool find. I also picked up a couple Avengers. Here's a giant size and an annual. Like I said, I love picking up the annuals. Annual number 9. And then I found some DC, some old Joe Kubert art here. You know, Blitzkrieg 3, 4, and 5. I think there's only 6 in the series. So, very cool to find those. Love the old war comics. I'm also slowly building my Warlord set. Again, almost through back issue comics. So I got number 6 and number 63. Only two I found this year. I'm also building a ROM set, and I picked up a few issues here too. 67, 70, 73, 11, 13, and 4. Getting very close to having that run complete. Picked up a bunch of Punisher War Journal, a series I had started, but didn't really keep up with. At $1.75. Back when I was still in, well, I guess it was at high school or in college, but I had better things to spend my money on. So, you know, $1.75 a book when most comics were $1 or $1.25. It's a little pricey. So, but I was able to pick up a bunch that I needed for my run, and I'm slowly putting that together. And I realized I needed quite a few, so I might go back. Probably not. I'll probably wait till next year, but see what I can find. And we're getting close to the end. So, ended up picking up. I saw they didn't have a ton of. There's some Valiant there. I ended up picking up this issue. I actually didn't need it. I just thought it was a cool cover, and it's in great shape. Picked up a Thor annual because again, Thor. A couple Spider-Man annuals because the Amazing Spider-Man, and they're there. And then I think my best, I don't know if it was the best find or the most valuable, but I was able to find 4 Bronze Age Batmans in awesome shape. Just classic stuff, right? So, and that's what I got this year, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you stick around to the end, and we'll see you next time. Bye.